Hi, so I'm Taylor Ellsworth and I am the owner of Skull Junkies. Skull Junkies is this business that I created where I can take a dead animal and turn it into some form of art to remember its life after it's passed. I started this in 2016 and it has just grown quite a bit since then. I've have this new space where I can display everything, which is really neat. All of the things in here I have worked on by hand by myself, and everything in here has its own story. So I'll start with the process first. Usually we start with something that is roadkill, which is usually fleshy and gross and smelly, and we put it in a bucket of just plain water, and it will macerate down the bacteria in the water, breaks the flesh down until it gets to bone, and then we'll switch it to degreasing, which could take a while. The degreasing part usually takes a few months, and we just use water and Dawn dish soap, and we change it out every 1 or 2 weeks until the water runs clear. And after that, we're good to move on to the whitening process. We use usually a mixture of water and hydrogen peroxide, but for small things we'll just use 3% hydrogen peroxide, and we leave it in there for a week or so, and it comes out nice and clean. I do have an example of one thing that I've cleaned, and it is one of my prized possessions, this little Yorkie Terrier skull. Now this one used to be my own pet, and I could not bear to cremate her, so I cleaned her myself after giving myself some time to grieve, and she turned out really nice. Now I have some other things here that I've done. This is kind of our pet collecting shelf, so we have all of the kittens that we found in my grandpa's barn that we've processed down, and I've articulated all of these by myself with just some regular super glue. We have dogs and cats, coyote pups up on this side, and our whole army of raccoon babies over there. Now, a lot of these pelts that I have here I haven't done myself, but they're really neat. Now on this side I have a timber wolf pelt. It's quite fluffy and long. Then I have, most of these are fox pelts, so these are farmed foxes. This one is a silver fox. We have a fisher, a red fox, a gray fox, an arctic fox, and a kit fox. And I also have them continued on over here, where I have my regular coyote pelt, a black phased pelt, and a red phased pelt, with raccoon, a badger, and a skunk to follow. So with our business, we sell on Etsy, and so all of the things that we sell on Etsy are displayed on this shelf that we have available, but unfortunately we can only ship in the United States. This has been a prized possession. I've put this shelf together it's taken forever. These are all of my small skulls. They're pretty neat. This one here is a little octopus. So these are wet specimens, and they're preserved with formaldehyde or 10% formalin. And then after they are done sitting in that for a while, they'll move over to just straight 70% rubbing alcohol, where they'll sit in the jars and they can last forever like that. And this one's a pretty neat one. This one is called a diaphonized turtle. So what they do is they take chemicals to remove the color of the skin to make it clear, and they dye the bones. And that one is sitting in glycerin. Oh yes, and of course I have to have a little bit of people in here. These actually belonged to my sister. that she did not want them, and I was not going to let her discard them. So thank you for just having a look at everything that I have here, and I was glad to offer some information about the things that I do for my shop, Skull Junkies.